Good day, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm back again here with Mr. Micro. Micro, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me back, Hedge.
Yep, it's nice to see you again, sir. So, of course, it's been a few days since we evidently found out that the No Mercy Revolver was marketable, to our surprise. Do you want to just kind of talk our way through it?
What a big surprise indeed. Yeah, when we last left off, we were talking about what to expect from this. We were anticipating the marketability here, and it was a Wednesday night, which, if you're familiar with Hedge's community, we do a thing called abnormal buy orders on Wednesday night, and we were speculating, if this was going to become marketable or not, or if it would indeed be abnormal. And as it turned out, it was. And fortunately, we had the link prepared and everything to do our buy orders. But Hedge, can you take us through that as that unfolded?
So, yeah, I initially didn't see it appear, and I was like, oh no, it's just going to be a normal skin that appears when the next Rust door rotates in. But to my surprise, and if you've seen this video, Rust Abnormal buy orders on August 17th, you can hear me scream. But it turns out not that many people were even aware of this, because very luckily only 10 people, or a buy order of 10 requests, managed to beat me to it. And then when this was all done, someone immediately did like $23 afterwards. So I think I was reasonably fast enough, Micro. But I probably didn't offer that much. $4 probably wasn't that much. And with my second buy order, I did like $15. How much did you do?
I did 15. I think I did 15.
Yeah. Because I don't think we're getting anywhere. I mean,
actually, I'll check right now. I put 2 for 15. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually do have a look of it right here. So this was the page like 12 hours after the first buy orders were put through. 20,000 requests, but I know one guy was just trying to make it look more popular than what it actually is. 20,000 buy orders were 3 pennies, so don't consider that. But when we first did all the buy orders and whatnot, as we move over to here, it only had like 200 genuine buy orders. So not that many people were even aware of this. And Micro, if I could probably just quickly, go over to take a look at the likes of Twitter, I actually made a bit of an announcement on Twitter. It's marketable! No Mercy Revolver E-Class is on the Steam market. Thanks, Player Rust. And the comments were like, what's E-Class? What are we about? What's the context on the skin? I'm not aware. No Mercy Revolver to the moon. Yeah, special edition. What? It turns out, Micro, hardly any people were even aware of this.
Yeah,
and
it was a situation. It was like blink and you miss it. That store rotated, and normally most people don't really know the moment when the store rotates. It's something that they look for Thursday at some point, but this was in the store for 5 to probably 10 minutes max, and by the time they corrected the mistake of inadvertently putting it up for sale, it had been erased from the store page. It disappeared off of the market, or the in-game store interface, and so you would never even know the difference. There was no big post that went out other than what you said and maybe a handful of other people, but it's not like Twitter blew up or anything.
No, I only got 1,000 views.
It was definitely a very fleeting thing that probably the majority of people, unless you were really on the pulse and caught that store rotation and were quick thinking enough to buy one. I saw the store rotate.
Yeah.
I saw that go up, and I was frantically trying to click buy, and I couldn't get it into my cart and checked out in time. I missed out on that opportunity, and that's how fast it happened.
You don't have to keep reliving the pain. You did go all over it through here. But I was there as well, and stupidly I didn't manage to get an actual purchase through. So I was just so caught in the moment, Micro. I was looking at it, and I was sincerely surprised about like all of it. And then 10 minutes. It's not that long when you're all excited about something silly that's just happened, and then gone blip. So
well, if that few number of people were aware of it, even that it was available to purchase, I would imagine that the word didn't really spread that far in the week time when between when it was briefly sold and when it ultimately became marketable. So when that moment came around, um, I'm not surprised that we had such a small turnout for buy orders. And so, yeah, we got in there. We were one
Yep.
of those first early group. And thanks again, whoever prepared that link. That was definitely handy.
Well, it was
And
Scmm.app. That's where we all got it from. But some people did notice and whatnot, and they shared it. So we're all helping each other out. And there was one little thing that I wanted to mention, Micro, because initially when it was just us doing the buy orders, the highest buy order was only $25 for a good 20 or so minutes. Someone actually managed to buy a few of these at $25, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to just quickly go over to here, so of course we're going back to Scmm.app. So this was the week that, of course, the Revolver came out technically with all of this batch. But if you look at the amount of people or the individuals that now own one, you can see that there's a whole lot more. Remember before Micro, where we only had 3 different people? Well, Yuacco's down to 3 instead of 30 now, and Mr. Anonymous is down to 12 instead of 25. So yeah, plenty of people ended up buying some, but I know for sure
quantity definitely redistributed itself.
Yes.
Somewhat there. We could see that for sure.
But it's still not super clear how many of them are in circulation. We still don't fully know. And unfortunately, SCMM keeps getting confused with the version 2 Revolver. In fact, if we were to go back to the actual Steam page itself for this listing, if you click workshop item, what does it take you to? Version 2. So this is a little bit awkward, and I'm not surprised that people do get confused. But if you were to search for this, if I were to search No Mercy Revolver, you do get both versions. But it wouldn't surprise me if people look at this and, at a glance think, what the hell is this? So we were trying our best to kind of bring awareness to everyone. We were trying our best to kind of help people understand the whole silly kerfuffle of what this was. Because word kind of technically has spread around. It wasn't just my tweet where I noticed people didn't really have a good idea of what was going on. I've actually looked at the subreddit, the Rust subreddit, and someone made this post. What's the story behind the special edition No Mercy Revolver that skyrocketed to $200 plus within a week? And it kind of seemed like some people were aware of it, but they didn't actually know all the correct information. So, Micro, I was just kind of going over this with you. Like, one guy said, it was out for hours, but then they removed it. One guy mentioned that it was only out for about 40 minutes, but that's not really correct, is it? It was only about 10 minutes. Was it, like, a definite 10 minutes? It might have been less or just a little bit more.
Yeah. I think if I was going to approach it from a scientific method, I would say 10 minutes plus or minus about 3 minutes, and I would have a very high confidence that it was in that little range there. I mean, it was very quick. It could have been, I was thinking 5, but it certainly wasn't more than just 10 or so minutes. I mean, it was just very quick.
And then when we look at all the sales...
40 minutes is definitely not even close.
And then when we look at all the sales, it wouldn't surprise me that word was also spreading around based on what we're seeing here. So initially, like I said, 14 of them kind of sold around $40. And then we started to see the price gradually rise. More and more people were becoming aware of it, and they thought it was super rare. And the biggest sale we've seen so far was about $500. Now it's kind of casually sitting around about $300. So yeah, lowest listing right now might be $500, but the price people are paying about $300. And hey, I did kind of say this, Micro. It's the notoriety. The more people become aware of it, the more that they turn up and buy it for this high of a price.
Yeah.
But
it's exclusive, just as you said. I mean, it's part of the No Mercy collection. It's the biggest collection in the game. It's one of the most iconic, and you might call it a prestigious collection. There's some No Mercy fanatics out there. There is that guy who's got every single No Mercy skin. He's got the No Mercy mouse pad. He's got the No Mercy, wall app art in his gaming room. There's those people out there that have to have this. I'm sure of it, but we do have a bit of a problem.
Yes, we do. So, whilst we're supposed to see a No Mercy revolver with a black wrap, You've actually taken this in game, and other people have mentioned this. This is what they see.
Mm-hmm.
It's the white wrap. What's going on? So
It's just like you showed before when you click on if you go to the sale listing on the market, you can see there's two distinct pages. And for both pages, when you click on the workshop link, it takes you to the No Mercy version 2, which is not the E-Class. This is the one that was accepted into the game a few months back.
So yeah, what we're looking at right now is the white wrap one. This is version 2. This was released back in April 2023. I click the workshop item, version 2. And as I've shown you already, when I click this, version 2. So there's definitely some confusion. I'm not sure if FacePunch is probably going to go ahead and fix this, but like you were mentioning earlier, why would people want this now if they don't get the actual exclusive skin? So it's in a bit of a strange position now, isn't it?
It is disappointing. I know if it would be one thing if you could flex in game with something unique, special, and different, and it was visibly different. I mean, to have it just be in the name of the skin and cosmetically be identical, it loses something for me. Some of that magic goes away. I mean, we already have the asset. It's been published to Steam, so how it's not linked to this skin when you buy it, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think you're looking at it like maybe it's inadvertent on FacePunch's part. I kind of feel like it's done this way on purpose, but I can't explain why they would choose to have them both converge onto the V2. It doesn't make sense to me necessarily why they would do that. I think maybe they want to avoid it getting out of control and becoming something highly valuable. I can't speculate on why they would want that. I think it would be cooler to have a really unique special thing like that. You know, be a truly rare collector's thing. But
wouldn't it be false advertising? You're not getting what you paid.
Yeah, I do feel a little slighted, and I think what we're seeing now on the market, you know, of course, those first few days there was a lot of demand out there from the curious people who missed it, missed that opportunity, and do understand the few number that have been sold does create a huge restriction in supply, and if that demand is out there, the prices could easily stay at these levels, but it depends on having the demand. And that goes for the people who own them, who, you know, is it in demand for the people who own them right now? Um, I know you could see on SCMM that if a number of people have bought those, did they buy them with the anticipation that it would go to $1,000, or do they really want it for the flex of having that picture on their Steam profile because you can't use it anywhere else? So, are those people going to stay invested in it and stay committed to it as owners, or are these purely people looking to, flip it for the true collectors out there?
Because it's going to be a hard sell. Like, who's going to want to buy something when you can just buy the cheaper one at $4 each?
Yeah.
So,
and the fact that they're exactly the same cosmetically, just as you put it, you get the same thing no matter which one you buy.
yeah.
So why would you buy the expensive one other than the vanity of having that elite rare item that, has its own special tag and special edition moniker.
You were saying you could actually highlight that on your Steam profile. You could be like, haha, I own this, and you don't. Stuff like that, you know? So, yeah, I kind of understand that perspective.
I got mine on Flex. Absolutely.
Do you want me to take a look?
We didn't tell the whole story. Well, no, don't go do that right now. But we didn't get into the whole story, but we did in fact get our hands on a couple, one for each of us. And I'm debating, do I sell mine? Because I can't imagine it's going to hold its value as people, more and more people are starting to become aware of the existence of this so-called rare skin. But I think there's a little bit of a lag, and then all those same people are going to end up finding out maybe the hard way, hopefully not the hard way, but they're going to go buy one for $200 and find out it looks exactly the same as the normal one. I think that's going to lead to a sense of disappointment, and that word is going to spread like, hey, don't buy this. It's not any different.
Yeah.
So Or will Face Punch fix it for us, please, so we can have the special version and make it
Please.
as elite? I hope so. And if my prediction is if they don't, that it's really not going to retain its value unless there really are a sufficient enough number of people out there committed to having that rare item that there's just no other way to get. And I mean that in name only because the physical item looks identical.
And then
Unfortunately.
it's the behavior of other people as well. As you can see, we see 1111111. All of these people now own it. How many of them are going to second guess their purchase and then decide, you know what, I'll just sell it now, get whatever money I can get, and then just leave it? Because I was showing off some screenshots.
Some of those people are on cooldown.
Yeah,
like some of those people bought it for $25 or whatever.
Yep. So, where was it? It was this one. I actually had this guy come up to me. He bought it for $175 and he said, hey, do you reckon I did a good thing here? And I was like, I don't know. Because that was initially, like you were alluding to, the highest buy order for like the first hour or so was only $25. But then gradually, over the course of like the first 24 hours of it being marketable, did it only then become fairly valuable? Because, yeah, we were quite surprised to see it selling for like $270 and whatnot. Like, I legitimately first thought that this was going to only probably be around $100, but its interest just kind of started to grow over the course of the day. But now, going back to this, after everything you've mentioned and said about how people are going to feel about this when they own it and look in the game and then realize it's basically looking like that it's kind of like stagnating. It's not going up and up and up anymore. It's gone up, and then it's gone down a bit, and then it's kind of stayed the same. And these are all buy order sales, aren't they? We've noticed earlier someone had a $280 buy order. We're led to believe that that was the most recent sale, but then it's $200, $180 something, and then it starts to go down to about 20-ish. It doesn't look like the interest is kind of keeping itself up. But then again, are any of these people wanting to budge? Are they going to just kind of leave it there and hope someone buys it for $500? It's awkward, but it's a guessing game. And like, you're gone.
There's reason for them to have a bit of hope there, though.
Yeah.
Right? We have people buying Twitch Rivals trophies for $600.
Oh, yes, we do.
Right? This past week we had one.
Yes, we did.
We have people buying the wisdom doors and other things that are at, maximum Steam wallet transactions. There are those whales out there that just need the item for a flex, that just gotta have something that the only way to get it is to spend a lot of money. So there are people out there. Those buyers do exist, and more power to them. Like I think that's great. But we just need to have sufficient awareness and interest in the item to maintain its price at that point. Alien Relic certainly holds its price.
Yeah, it's definitely got the interest.
Yeah, that's always commanding, $1,000 price tag, and it used to be higher.
Yes, it did. And then you got the likes of the horror bag, which was only around for a week or so back in 2015 when there was only like 10,000 people who owned Rust. So you definitely have these old nice and vintage skins that people definitely are seeking out. So, yeah, we've seen it work out nicely for the likes of these skins, but then again, they're also very old.
Can you even find a link for the Wisdom Door? Does that even appear on the market? I bet you it doesn't.
Wisdom Door.
Gets bought and sold so infrequently.
Oh, I called it Widom. That wouldn't have worked. We do have the Wisdom Door here, though. Are you talking about the one that's the more expensive one?
The metal tree door.
That's it. Yeah, you've remembered the fixed version. We want to see the one that was the mistake. So metal tree door. I could just put tree door and it'll probably find it. So it'll be 0. Yeah, yep. There is 0, and the highest buy order $2,000. It looks like. Yep, $2,000.
I don't know if we really touched on this one enough in our previous video, but this is another situation where it was an erroneous introduction of an item. It was actually the Wisdom Door that had been already accepted, and then this was introduced the following week and was sold for just a few minutes period and then was removed because, as I said, it was an accident.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things that's been forever in short supply, and on account of its limited accessibility, you could see there aren't even anyone willing to sell it right now. But you got those people willing to buy it for, you know, crazy high prices. It's just when you've got a choke supply like that, this is what happens to the prices if it's something interesting enough.
So yeah, you can read about how some people are talking about here. So one guy says it's the rarest skin in the game and whatnot. There's loads of stories about some things that have happened in the past. We've had banned skins, copyright issues. There's loads of things in the history of Rust skins, but this is just one of those stories, isn't it? So
This one's particularly relevant just because it has such a close parallel to the one we're dealing with now with this E-class revolver. It was a mistake. It was limited supply, introduced, all for a very short sales window, and forever on after it was expensive. If you look at the history of the price for that door, it didn't just immediately go to $2,000. This thing has sold, if you can even go back that far, but yeah, it sold for a more reasonable price for some time. It wasn't until later in its life that people started to really
buy it
covet
out.
this thing, and yeah, there may be some hoarding going on. I'm not. I think the market supply has become further restricted. But we'll leave it at that. I don't know where it's ended up, or maybe just people who want that flex item. If I was loaded, I'd buy one. I think that's a really cool flex.
Let me look it up on SCMM. I should have done that. We can see how many it assumes are in circulation.
I saw one in game one time.
Oh, did you?
I saw someone with a metal tree door. Yes, I did. I didn't get to speak to him, but well, probably that guy.
Brett happens to own 6, so I guess that's probably a very big flex. But yeah, all I see is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. 21 apparently unknown to us, but there's apparently 38. So some of them are being held in private accounts, it seems. But it appears that there's only 38 of these that exist. And the price, well, someone's willing to offer $2,000, but I think it goes for more than that now. I personally don't fully know. But what we can confirm was it was only available for a very short amount of time. So, yeah.
So, is it fair to draw any parallels to this with the No Mercy E-Class? I think there is a distinction. In this case, there's a big difference. If you look at the two doors, they're very different in-game. This is much more bold and distinct, and even at low graphic settings, it still has the appearance of being a metal tree. The other door, the Wisdom door, kind of looks kind of messy at low graphics. It's a bit pixelated. So this doesn't quite have that same just the visual appearance isn't quite as distinct or as distinctive, I guess. And despite that there's a huge difference, I first of all, I can see why the cheaper version is cheap and the expensive one is expensive, both from aesthetic and a rarity point of view. For the No Mercy, it is a bit different. While yes, it was erroneously introduced and sold for just that very short time window, it also looks exactly like its counterpart.
Yeah,
that's a $4 skin,
which I can easily prove right now. Once again, I did this earlier. Just delete this, and we have white wrap, and then we have black wrap, and there's hardly any difference. So, and if it doesn't look that different in game, the conclusion is people probably won't be wanting to buy it as much now. So.
Is it fair to say, for the sake of correctness, we should address that our thumbnail for the other video shows them both off from an in-game perspective?
Yeah,
you might get the feeling even the thumbnail for this video, I think, shows them both off separately. But don't be misled. At this given moment, they both have the identical appearance. In fact, I think they both load the same asset ID when you craft them. So. It's not even that they're similar in game. It's like right now when you craft an E-Class, it is essentially just crafting a V2. The appearance is indistinguishable, pixel for pixel. So
yeah,
I don't know if they plan on changing that. That is something they could, in fact, do at their at their whim. If they were to change that to reflect the difference between the two wrap colors, that could be a game changer. This could go from a $200 skin as it appears to be right now to much more than that. It could create a very highly desirable skin. Personally, I hope they do that.
Yeah,
But
like
as it is right now, I'm gonna have to say probably, um, if you
not
got
so much.
one, yeah, you might consider selling it because
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna hold this price.
but I do feel there are still going to be people who want to collect it. But yeah, come on, Face Punch, fix this. Make
Who
sure
knows?
it's distinct.
We need to spread the word. Everyone out there, send this to your investor friends, send this to your CS:GO friends, send this to your nan, send it to your boss, anyone who you think might want to buy a rare skin. We need to raise awareness and get everyone to know, like, this is
Ma,
exclusive.
please understand. These are expensive pixels. I need this. Come on. Right then. So, I guess that's a wrap then. I think we've covered everything. We've got some unfortunate things. We've referenced things from the past that have happened. All we can really do now is sit and wait. That's it, really. So, will it hold?
It's an interesting process to watch it unfold. I check on it every so often. I got to be honest with you, I've checked it a few times a day since this thing, became marketable, and it's interesting to see who's posting them for sale, who's buying them. I saw one earlier that was like 280, and it looks like that buy order got filled. So there's still like probably 4 or 5 buy orders that are over $100, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe enough people haven't even become aware of its existence yet.
Maybe maybe
No
my
Mercy
video
season hasn't even started. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe they
Wait till
randomly
Christmas
saw the
time.
video. And then, yeah, no, that's exactly right, Micro. Around Christmas time, we do see a returning sort of surge of people, out of school, out of college, not working so much. Because, of course, between Christmas and New Year, people aren't really going crazy with work. It might all be new to them. And much like what we saw with the Twitter post and on the subreddit, it's still new to some people. And then they might think, I could do with something rare, something special. So, yeah, that's it really, isn't it? So, does it remain special or does it lose its spark? Who knows? So I guess that's it then, Micro. Any other final words?
Nope. It's something I'm eager to see how it unfolds. I'm hopeful that Face Punch decides to update the model in game so we have our own unique thing to flex. The one thing we didn't really elaborate on is how we came upon our own copies of this.
Oh yes,
but
we could.
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I feel like we could. So one of the
should really big up the person who facilitated this for us. I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah,
very generous move.
So Mr. Yuacco, who owned 30 of them, he managed to sell a whole bunch of them. I think he was one of the people who sold his for $25 initially because he wasn't 100% sure how far this was going to go. Evidently, it did work out quite right because he did manage to sell quite a few of them for above $200. But he came up to me and he said, Hedge, I was there during the stream and I would never have known anything about this unless you'd said something. And he says, the only reason I bought 30 of them was because you were talking about it. And he just said, look, do you want a skin? I was like, I'm very grateful for that, but could I give it to Micro instead? I know he'd appreciate it so much more. And he's like, oh, that's right then. And he gave us 2.
What a G.
So, Mr. Yuacco, you could have sold them for some very good money, but you were very generous and you passed on a skin each to each of us. So, yeah, you might have noticed Hedge right here. Damn it, I didn't know I was going to get noticed, but a lot of people noticed when I accepted it. They're like, Hedge, did you buy this? And I was like, no, I got it gifted. But yeah, to you, Mr. Yuacco, thank you very much. Mr. Micro, would you like to say thank you as well?
I do. Thank you, Yuacco. That's a very kind gesture, and I truly do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Something I will cherish for a long time. I love being a part of Rust. I love being a part of the Steam market here, and to have the little special flex item that probably not too many people really understand its interest, its intrigue. But to me, it has a bit of value just on account of, we were there for this. We experienced it all. We rode that roller coaster, and we got to see where it takes us. It's still on the tracks, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll do a follow up in a couple of months or a couple of years. Who knows?
Maybe
But
maybe January. Maybe around January time we might see with the returning people a whole lot more of these getting bought, and it sells for $1,000. I haven't even noticed it, but I've just seen someone list one on Scmm.app for over $1,000. Good luck, bud. Good luck. Right then, so
I admire the optimism.
Yep, he's trying, but maybe it will work out that way. Maybe this just gradually keeps increasing in price. But like I said, who knows? So with that, thank you very much for watching. Micro, would you like to do a nice little outro?
Well, there's not much left for me to say, Hedge. Thanks again for having me on the show here and for giving us a chance to elaborate this whole situation to the people, all those fine investors out there and curious collectors and players. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate your patience and your interest in what we have to say. And thanks again for listening.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and we hope you enjoyed it.